I've just got a text message from one of my friends who's read some lies on Twitter and believed it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen and everything in between, we are back with yet again another ImAllexx video. By now, anybody watching this video will be blatantly aware of the situation at hand, and if not, I'd highly recommend that you go and watch the ImAllexx videos in this playlist detailing what's been going on, especially recently, and then come back and continue watching this video. We've got a lot to get into in today's video. We've got some brand new controversies, some brand new responses, and I want to take a look, firstly, at a couple of clips that I missed from the ImAllexx deleted stream that we covered in last video that I didn't get to include. That's because when I was making that original video, ImAllexx's deleted stream hadn't been archived. It wasn't archived until much later.
Why it's easy to ignore a lot of the stuff in the chat is because like it's never going to end. So like, I answer any of these questions and it's never going to stop.
I do think he's changed his tactics since this, because a lot of the streams he ends up privating. He doesn't really respond to any of the comments anymore. I think he understands that this just makes it worse, so he won't respond.
Is it really? So, what's the point? There's no point.
I honestly forgot how down he was in this stream, like how underneath his skin the chat got.
He's crashing out. Mate, I don't know it's crashing out, just to say something perfectly ordinary.
I think the consensus is that even if he wasn't crashing out, he was 100% losing it this entire stream. He just genuinely wasn't all there, and some of the things he was saying and doing in this stream are just hilariously pathetic.
Hey Louis, man, it's been 2 years for me, brother. Like, you know, if you can't move on with your life, then what can you do? Really. I said everything I needed to say.
I think this is incredibly funny because by this point Alice had dropped her 700-page document which categorically proved that throughout his entire response video ImAllexx was lying through his teeth. So he hadn't addressed that, and he still hasn't properly addressed the brick clip, bar what we're about to go over next and the clip from that stream. And he's not refusing to respond to it because it's been 2 years for him and he's trying to move on. He's refusing to respond to it because he knows it will make him look 10 times worse if he does. Now his next stream after this, he apparently addressed some more things, including to people that were watching the stream. He ignored the negative comments for a while and then addressed the brick/abuser comments, spouting the same shite he has been, that it's been in therapy, it's been 2 years now, he said what he said, and move on, etc. So I reached out to this guy to further see if he had any clips or what this was about, and he did actually respond, which I will be reading out. But I do want to say, bear in mind, take all of this with a heavy pinch of salt, because we don't have any clips to back this up. We have no idea what was said on this stream, only that it was removed pretty quickly. He was ignoring the negative comments, which seemed to be 50-50 with his fans, and then it clearly got to him after a while, and so I mentioned him getting offline and getting therapy, and then he was saying things like, I don't know what more people want from me, and going off on about a rant how he's been in therapy since January 2024, and getting his diagnosis, and that he said what he needed to say in his response, so people need to move on because he's over it and moved on. It's been 2 years now. Now, like I previously said, we don't have clips to back this up, but this is incredibly similar to things that he said in the past, so I tend to believe what this user is saying. This is very similar to things he said on his previous streams, and if he has said something to the effect of he's over it, that's very, very weird, seeing that he's been accused of literal abuse. But I'm not making this video because somebody sent me a message about a stream that nobody clipped and nobody archived. That would be genuinely pathetic and really scraping the bottom of the barrel. We are making this video for one reason and one reason only. ImAllexx recently started streaming on Twitch, and the first thing people noticed and started posting on Twitter is on his Twitch subscriptions, on his emotes, he had one of a monitor smashed by a brick. Of course, he's got to have a lot of attention because he made a pretty threatening remark to Alice over a brick, and that's become a big thing with ImAllexx. It's probably his most viral moment, and the biggest moment from this entire situation was that clip that blew up online. So a lot of people screenshotted this and ran to Twitter with it because, you know, it's aged either badly, or a lot of people thought that he intentionally added it pretty recently for his return to Twitch. So being an abusive piece of shit is just a personality trait at this point, guys. So funny and quirky. Respond to the document calling out your lies instead of making this real disgusting situation a joke. You joke. Now, it turned out that this emote on his Twitch had been there for several years, so it's something that had just aged horrifically badly. Like, genuinely, it is something that has aged so poorly that I just can't put it into words. And as funny as I think it is for somebody who who has consistently lied about Alice and loads of other people being a false accuser, for him to then have a lie spread about him to any capacity. As funny as I think that is, this is just something that he can hold over the heads of his detractors, Alice and other people, and use to try and spin his own narrative. You can 100% make fun of this and use this. I think it's incredibly funny how badly this has aged, but he's just going to use this to try and spin his own narrative that his detractors, Alice and all these other people, will happily lie about him and then not like post a retraction. Which by this point, he's only got a few people that are genuinely watching him who genuinely believe he's innocent on all accounts and this good guy and that he's changed, but still, why would you even just give him the chance of being able to spin a narrative like that? And ImAllexx has actually responded to the Twitch emote stuff on 2 separate streams. Now, the first clip I'm going to play, I did not clip up. It's incredibly poor quality because someone clipped it up and zoomed in on ImAllexx's face. Unfortunately, the Twitch stream was taken down pretty promptly after it was put up in the first place, so this is the only clip that I can find, and thankfully somebody actually clipped this moment.
Like, it's just, that's the thing that's irritating, is that nobody's going to correct that.
I'm going to be so for real and so straight up. I have absolutely zero sympathy that a liar has had a lie spread about him. I genuinely don't care, especially when he lied through his teeth in his response to Alice, and that has been proven that he blatantly lied in that and tried to pull the wool over everybody's eyes. A mass liar cannot sit there and complain that a lie is being spread about them, and we're meant to feel sympathy for that. But like I've already said, it does give something to hold over his detractors' heads and try to build a narrative, which there's plenty enough to critique Alex over, like literally 700 pages worth of a document to critique him over, so, you know, there's no point using this when it just gives him something to complain about and hold over people's heads.
Apparently, like, I've gone out of my way to make a Twitch emote in my spare time, apparently, about something that I generally do not think about.
I mean, this is just a flat-out lie. How he's been responding to people in his YouTube chats, the things he's been saying, it's very clear to a certain extent that ImAllexx definitely still thinks about this. And over the brick thing, this is something that you still haven't properly addressed, only laughed at and, you know, now addressed through this emote thing. You haven't actually addressed your brick comment. So, of course, yeah, people are still going to be chatting about it, and it's pretty weird to say that you don't think about it whatsoever, when we all know that's a blatant lie.
Like, and it's just irritating. Because it's not the case, and it's not at all what I have done. It's a Twitch emote that's 5 fucking years old.
Yeah, Alex, I guess it is irritating when somebody blatantly lies about you, just like you blatantly lied about Alice in your response video, which got proof. This is another thing that I think he will do, seeing as he spoke about it 2 streams in a row now. I think he's just going to victimize himself here to try and appeal to the people that are already watching him, try and create a stronger narrative with the people who already believe him.
And it's obvious because they all look the same. They all look exactly how they all have done for the last 5 years. It's the same emotes. Like, it was a like, it's not a new thing. I haven't added any Twitch emotes at all.
Yeah, I know, Alex, it's terrible, and I feel really sympathetic towards you, and I don't know why anybody after Alex's last response in regards to the brick thing would ever think that Alex would ever make an emote that's a smashed monitor and a brick. I have no idea why anybody would think that, especially when it's so relevant to the situation at hand. Basically, what I'm saying is I have zero sympathy for Alex, and I don't necessarily blame people that thought this was a new emote, because it is so incredibly relevant to the situation that it's genuinely aged so poorly.
So we're still fucking partnered. It's still there. I deleted it. I deleted it the moment I saw the fucking tweet. Even, you know, because it's not, I didn't realise it was there. That's literally what I did when I started streaming, is I went through to try and, like, I was checking over. I haven't used this channel in 2 years.
I do think it's just awfully funny that the first thing that happens when Alex starts to stream is that people screenshot a brick smashed monitor and put it onto Twitter. I think it's hilarious that that's just something that was already on there and that he got shit for. That's just incredibly unfortunate for him.
Tweet is, yeah, well, of course it is. It's not going to get deleted. Even though it's completely untrue.
I mean, hey Alex, we all want a lot of things, like we want you to respond to the big Google document and respond to the brick clip, but some things in life just aren't gonna happen. Yeah, realistically, Alice should probably take down the tweet. She did clear it up and clarify it in the replies several times and make that correction. Maybe she's just keeping it up for accountability, but again, I have zero sympathy for Alex here, so I'm not gonna say that anybody should be doing anything in this situation because of Alex's behavior, Alex's actions, and the fact that I think it's quite ironic that finally a lie is being spread about Alex. I'm not going to sit here and say that that isn't ironic or funny. But that's not Alex's only response to this. No. He felt the need to then secondly address it on his most recent stream. At the time of recording, there is no archive of this stream, and he's removed this stream, but I did manage to clip this moment as I was watching when he addressed it.
Oh. Do you know, this is the thing that's ridiculous, by the way. I've just got a text message from one of my friends who has read some lies on Twitter and believed it.
I don't know what's more shocking here, the fact that he has any type of friend, or the fact that he thinks it's shocking that somebody would see something about him that is maybe that outrageous and believe it. Again, like I previously said, I completely understand why people would have originally, and maybe who even didn't see that this emote was old, believe that this is something that is new, because it is so incredibly relevant and has aged so incredibly poorly that it just makes, you know, sense.
As if I would do something that insane.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't put it past you to do something that insane, Alex. I don't think that would be the most insane thing that has come out about you in the past year. Let's be so for real right now. And I think the fact that Alex's friend in the current time thinks that just reflects how badly everybody views him, even the people that are meant to be his quote-unquote friends.
This is why, by the way, you shouldn't eat eggs, because it makes your brain go bad. Thank you so much. The emote from yesterday. Yeah, the 6-year-old Twitch emote that apparently I made yesterday and people believe.
Again, he's acting like it's shocking that people were genuinely believing that this is a new thing. Like I've already said several times, and I keep repeating myself, and I will keep repeating myself, if he keeps making this bloody point, it is relevant to the situation. A smashed monitor and a brick is incredibly relevant to the things that Alice brought up against you. So yeah, I don't blame people for thinking that this is a new thing and not an old thing. It's just an old thing that has aged incredibly badly and like unfortunately predicted something. To sit there and act like it's crazy for anybody to genuinely believe that this is a new thing is insane to me, not only because of his previous actions, but because it is relevant.
An emote that's literally 6 years old and has been in my Twitch chat since 2000 and like, what, 19. Twitter is where intelligence goes to die. It does.
The guy that thought he would get away with blatantly lying through his response video when he knew that his ex-girlfriend had receipts to prove him wrong is talking about intelligence.
Yeah. It really does. And it finds its way into my WhatsApp messages. Which is annoying.
I mean, I think it's incredibly funny that Alex's friends think so very little of him that they genuinely believe that he would do something like this, that they would reach out to him because they genuinely think this has some kind of truth in it. That says a lot about Alex. Because either these posts came from Bluesdank or Alice, so I think it's very funny that his friends would actually believe these two people when they're friends with Alex.
I haven't made any emotes yet, by the way. I still do need to... That reminds me, I need to make emotes. That's what your Instagram story was about. Yeah, people say that I added new Twitch emotes yesterday, but I didn't. They've been the same Twitch emotes I've had for like, literally like 6 years. So, yeah. Just like, stupid bollocks.
Again, do not blame people for believing that this is something that you genuinely added. Like, I don't. And I think it's very funny that he's trying to play it up, that this is some outrageous thing that, oh, I don't know why you'd ever believe this. When I think it's pretty understandable why people would believe that you recently added this. I think I can understand that for basically everybody involved in this situation. I 100% get why you would think that. Especially if you're not a viewer of ImAllexx, especially when he was streaming on Twitch. You'd have to know that he was using that emote during his Twitch. And let's be real, not many people were watching ImAllexx's Twitch, even then. But that was ImAllexx's response to that. Another thing that I do want to talk about is how badly the hate was in his Twitch chat. He had to turn it on emote only for a while, because genuinely everybody was spamming, like, abuser and all of this other stuff 10 times worse than it was on YouTube.
Alright, here we go. I think that's everything set down to 0, I think. I'm good, Chloe, thanks for asking. I'm glad to hear that. Hey, no problem, man. I was streaming on YouTube, and then YouTube went down because of copyright claiming, man. So I was like, alright, I'm gonna go to Twitch where there's like no copyright issues at all.
Genuinely, this comes from Twitter, so you can go and watch the full thing. It's about 3 minutes odd of his chat, and it is just spamming all those things that were on YouTube, but 10 times worse. And I think that might be something to do with Twitch's moderation not being as good or as strong as YouTube's, so a lot of the other comments are coming through. Another thing as well is Alice has been pretty active in the past 24 hours in relation to the ImAllexx situation. Now, I might be totally wrong, but it does definitely seem like it was sparred by comments that Alex was making on on Twitch and the brick emote on there. Want to make it clear, I was told this was new. If he says it's old, that's clearly alleged being new. My point still stands. Laughing at brick jokes is sick. Lying for 2 hours is sick. And ignoring the undeniable evidence and debunk all of this bullshit response is sick. Tell the people the truth. Own up to it when it's all there on screen for everyone to see. Now, at the time of just finishing up this video, Alex is currently streaming on his Twitch to about 44 people, so you know that's how it's going. At that point, you might as well just create a group chat with them. But that is everything new and up to date with the ImAllexx situation. I just wanted to hop on here to cover some clips that I missed in my last video because the archive wasn't readily available from his deleted stream, and I wanted to go over this brick Twitch emote thing because I found how ImAllexx has been responding and the whole situation around it over the past 24 hours to be incredibly interesting. Like I've always said with this situation, if anything else does come out, if ImAllexx says anything else insane or really interesting that I want to make a video on, I will be going over it, so expect that. So if you're interested in that or interested in any other YouTube drama, please feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a future upload. And whilst you're down there, you might as well leave a comment saying your thoughts on this whole situation, as I will be reading them. I'm genuinely interested to see what a lot of people think about this. But I have been your host Samuel, and I will catch you in the next YouTube video.